everybody. Intuition here. Thank you as always for making time and space for us. We want to discuss a topic that we hear a lot of channels and individuals that are able to talk to other beings discuss, and this is the idea of speaking to spirits. And we want to discuss the potential challenges or maybe to simply dissuade you from doing so. And here's why. The idea is if you're talking to disembodied spirits, it can be unwise because many disembodied spirits that are simply roaming around are roaming around for a reason. They're not the disembodied spirits that are roaming around for a reason and not busy doing something are usually the ones that are trying to talk to people. And it is more like the idea of somebody who doesn't have a job and doesn't really have anything going on and doesn't have really much to say, but is wanting to get people's attention. And so then therefore they will kind of pick at people on the street. They will say, hey, look at me. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at that. Hey, have you heard about this? Hey, have you heard about that? And it's the idea of these spirits have nothing better to do, and then therefore they are trying to offer themselves in a disingenuous way that promotes the idea that they have something to offer that they more than likely don't. Because if they're sitting and trying to talk to you, then that is a red flag. These ideas of channels or psychics that are talking to those that are disembodied, it is questionable because why? You can talk to so many other better sources of information than those that are just hanging around for seemingly no good reason. Because most disembodied individuals aren't just hanging around. There's things that you probably need to be doing even though you're not in a body. It is not as if you die and then it's a pleasure cruise and you get to take a vacation from life. It is more of the idea of when you die, you are getting prepared for your next stage, whether that is you choosing to go within a body again or you choosing to evolve just simply by yourself. So if you're disembodied and you're choosing to evolve simply by yourself, you surely aren't sitting and talking to other individuals, because if that's what you wanted to do, you would be in a body. So if you were choosing to continue in your evolutionary state, you're not just sitting around talking to whoever can hear you in a body and then therefore talk back to them. You are on your own doing things to further your own evolutionary growth. That usually doesn't mean sticking around humans to see what they're doing. Likewise, if you are disembodied and you're preparing to go into a body, you're busy preparing to go into a body. There's a lot of work that goes into that. You just don't say, well, I guess I'm going into a body and bam, I speak to a spiritual council and we're getting things. No. You have to stalk, so to speak, your next family that you're going to adopt, and that takes a lot of time and traversing a lot of space in order to do so. And even those individuals that are stalking the families aren't sitting and talking to them and waiting for them to talk back. It is more the idea of, like a stalker, that is exactly what you're doing. Stalkers aren't sitting usually and talking to you through your window. They're just simply staring at you through the window. So it is more of that idea that when the disembodied individual, universal principality, is preparing to go into a body, they're stalking, they're looking, they're trying to see, okay, well, is this the right family for me? I don't want to interfere with any of their ongoings, because if I interfere, then I might not get a good read on the situation that is inherently usually going on within their normal everyday life. So the idea that a universal principality, a disembodied spirit that is about to go into a body, is going to be talking to you is also ridiculous, because they are busy trying to figure you out, not trying to talk to you. So these spirits that then therefore are just hanging around trying to talk to you is a red flag, because those are the individuals that are in a very in-between place. And if they're in an in-between place, then they are in a space that you more than likely do not need to engage with, because they're in a space that they're trying to figure their own self out, not in the sense of evolution, but they're in a space in which they are more than likely identified with their past animation, their past reincarnation, and then therefore what it is that they're going to be offering you is that of their past understanding of the human life that they lived and the little bit of understanding that they understand being disembodied, which is inherently very limited if you are trying to use that as a source of knowing for yourself. So those spirits that people are talking to that have nowhere to be, why? Why do you have nowhere to be? You best get going. Because if you're just sitting around, then what are you doing? On some level, you've stopped evolving. You've stopped wanting to evolve because you were so identified with your past animation that you're unwilling to move on. And that's not necessarily how we understand a ghost, but that's apparently how many people see what a ghost is. They're not wanting to move on. And that is a choice. That is an unwillingness. That is different from those who take their lives, because those individuals who take their lives and are lost in that sense are also not really talking to anybody. They're more trying to figure out who they are and what went wrong, so to speak, in their last body, and trying to remember their own energy so that they can move on in their own process. So again, these spirits that are just sitting around waiting to talk to you are usually not spirits that you want to talk to, because what do they have to offer you that you can't offer yourself? So that is something that we want to offer, because it seems like many spiritualists and channels or psychics or those who are in touch with a disembodied principality that they are using as a source of information that don't have an inherent place to be, they're not going to be offering you very much that you yourself can't get in touch with just based off of your personality lens. Because again, the reason why they're stuck in talking to you is because they are over-identified with their body and with their personality and their last animation. For many of us, that is us, except we're just not disembodied. So you can do that all by yourself without hearing an extra voice in your head, without having another spirit just hanging around. So if that is what it is that you're trying to expand upon, if that is what it is that you're trying to channel, if you're trying to channel that realm, please proceed with caution, because any spirit that's just hanging around doesn't have anywhere to be is questionable. If you're looking to channel something, you could channel your other aspect of self. Other people call it a higher self. We do not call it a higher self, because that self is not higher than you. That self is congruent, equal in their understanding, in their evolution as you are. They just have a different experience than you. But if that makes you feel more comfortable, you could call it your higher self. So you could channel your higher self. You could channel your divine significant other, which many people misidentify as an angel, but that is what we understand angels to be. So there are many better, so to speak, sources that you could draw upon, but for you to just simply be drawing upon your dead Aunt Susie or JoJo, who you met around, just hanging around, Five Guys, that was disembodied, we don't recommend it, but who are we to tell you, another God, another lowercase g, another universal principality, how to talk to the disembodied, how to talk to your friends? So we offer that information to you because, again, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of different sources out there that will tell you to strengthen your channeling abilities, and just leave it at that, and won't tell you who potentially to reach out to as you're strengthening those abilities, because it gets a little murky out there if you are getting in touch with disembodied energies that are presenting themselves in a way that is disingenuous to what it is that they're really trying to do. So we leave you with that. As always, we thank you for making time and space for us, and we wish you well in your communications with the disembodied. May you find a fantastic source that is hopefully not just a disembodied spirit just hanging around because they have nothing better to do. May you find something much more informational, something much more rooted and grounded in an evolutionary process and track than what it is that we just mentioned. Thank you for making space, and we wish you well.